Hi, I'm Dr. Vonda Wright, and this is Hot for Your Health. In this episode of Hot for Your Health, you're going to have a lot of fun with celebrity trainer Andrea Metcalf as she teaches you to squeeze activity back in your lives. We're way too busy and we ignore mobility sometimes, but she has the solutions that is going to make it easy for you.
I'm so glad to be here. My name's Andrea, and I was really thinking, I'm like, there's so many fit people here. No one's going to come here and want to learn about exercise or do any of these little tricks or know what's new and trend. But because this is an exercise type session, and yes, I really have been in this for over 30 years. I started, how many of you remember jazzercise? Now we have Zumba. It's just Latin jazzercise, but they made the guy much hotter. No, there were never any hot men in jazzercise. We missed that boat. But I've been through the years with fitness, everything from the thong on the outside to the thong on the inside, leg warmers outside, Princess Reebok high tops, Billy Blanks, Jane Fonda, albums, if you can remember that. And I think there's a few things that I want to share with you. First off, it never gets easy to exercise unless you're getting paid to do it. I taught classes for 29 years, at least 20, at sometimes 27 classes a week. And the last 3 years being in media and producing television and writing, I started teaching again in April. So I took 2 years off of really exercising, and I'm also in my 40s. I had 2 kids out of college, 1 still in. It just doesn't get easy. And I don't care, there's only about 5% of the population that really loves it until you start doing it, and then there's probably another 25% that kind of like it, and 50% of the population loves when it's over. So where do you guys fall in? Love while you're doing it? Raise your hand. You love to get up and do it? Okay. How many of you love while you finally get going, and you get there? And how many are happy when it's over? See? I get it. Yeah. Well, I totally understand where you're coming from. I got asked to run a marathon for a charity group as their celebrity runner in Chicago. And I sat at the table, I'm like, how many of you have actually run a marathon or are runners? I said, I'm not a runner either. They're like, but you do fitness, you can train for it. I said, I don't think you guys understand what a marathon is. Who in this room's run a marathon? A couple people? There, see, it's not like regular fitness. It is dedication like starting a new degree. And so I would run for 2.5 hours, and then I would sleep for 2.5 hours. So that's 5 hours, 2 days a week that I was missing life. So I ran the half, and I just told them I can't do the full. But we got 78 people to sign up, and they only had 16 the year before. So I figured that was really the job. But let's talk a little bit about how to squeeze in exercise, because how many of you have busy lives? How about this? We now snack more than we sit down and eat meals in the US. I was just at a conference in Sacramento. I found that crazy. So here's something I want you to think about. In the last 7 days, and there's 3 meals in a day, so that's 21 times to sit down during the entire meal. How many of you have done it at least once? Okay, not once. Sat down, like you never went out to dinner and just sat down the last 7 days for just that meal? Or did you have your cell phone with?
A lot of times there's always something else going on.
Right, so we don't even focus on being conscious when we're eating, let alone conscious when we work out. So I kind of find that really interesting, the shift in how our lives are changing. How many of you have more than one job? Maybe it's mom, maybe it's wife, maybe it's career. Maybe in your career you have 3 or 4 different jobs, right? So we're in this superwoman role and we're still trying to get active. So why should you exercise? Any of these reasons look good to you? You matter? It's kind of hard to think about sometimes how when you're not at your best, you perform for other things, for other people, as you're role in your job, as a mom, as a sister, as a girlfriend. I mean, you know those girlfriends you don't want to have lunch with when they're like crabby, right? You're just like, oh, I don't want to be around them. They need to take a walk and not come and sit down. But 80% of the causes of death can be changed by lifestyle. That's one of the most interesting things. And as I was saying out in the hallway, I think we're getting confused about exercise and being active these days. We keep hearing that we need to exercise. And what does that envision? Tell me what you think about when you hear exercise stuff.
Having to go to somewhere to do it.
To do something with a lot of stuff,
Right.
and my water and my technology, and hopefully not getting too exhausted, because then I have to go back and be myself at work. And exercise doesn't have to be that. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. And that's what I'm hoping to open your eyes up to, so that when you're at home and you are doing that ironing, or you turn on the music, like we just turned on the music and instantly everyone was moving. I mean, Dancing with the Stars, they lose weight for a reason. They're working out, they're dancing. So there's some really good reasons why you need to do this. And that's what I want to just remind you. But most of all, it comes down to you. I mean, I don't know if you realize, with women's heart disease, 1 in 3 women die of cardiovascular disease. And think about 3 people that you know, or the 2 people next to you. I mean, that's what this is really about, extending our quality of life, not just our quantity of life. So, how many of you have had any of these excuses at one point in time? Raise your hands, I won't look. I have no time to exercise, raise your hands. I don't like to sweat. I don't know where to begin. I thought you had to sweat. Oh, my aching back. I'm starting tomorrow. I hope all your hands are up. Whether you're already doing an exercise program or not, what I hope to leave you with is that you will think about exercise differently and that you will do something tomorrow.
The Federal Health Insurance Marketplace is now open. That means you're free to shop for the health plan that's right for you. UPMC Health Plan has some of the most affordable plans on the marketplace. And they all give you full in-network access to UPMC, plus other doctors and hospitals in your community. Visit upmchealthplan.com or call 1-855-297-UPMC to learn why so many people have chosen UPMC Health Plan. Enroll today.
How many of you like to go shopping? Really? Not all of you? Not really? You don't like to shop? Oh, okay. I think shopping, I don't get to do it as much or as often as I did when I was a teenager or in college, which is kind of weird because I have more money now than I did when I was a teenager in college, but somehow I don't have the time. So when you do go to the grocery store, how many of you really park further away or are more excited about being a rock star? I'm the rock star. I say this to people all the time, park far away, and I'm like in the back of my mind going, I don't park far away. I hate parking far away. I want to get in there, so I don't park far away. But one thing I do is I do lap the grocery store, mainly because I don't know where half the stuff is that I want to buy, especially if I'm following a recipe. So that makes extra laps because you can't figure it out. And I'm still looking in the aisles, where's that multi-grain quinoa? And I can't find it. But there is something to this. There is something to getting those few extra steps in. Something as easy as sitting in line and pushing and pulling your cart. Now I know self-serve, like there's the self-checkouts. You guys have a ton of those here too, right? Everyone's moved to that method, like do it yourself. I still get in the line, A, because every time I go to the self-checkout, what happens, but there's like, it's stopped or it's broken or I gotta wait because I'm buying a bottle of wine and there's person's only 15 that's at the counter. So with that said, push and pull the cart on one leg. I sometimes see how far I can go, like if I can close my eyes and push and pull the cart. Of course, the people behind me think I'm a little crazy, but I don't know them, so I don't mind. But there are those kind of things. There are the kind of things of putting the gallon of milk at your side and just kind of standing up while you're waiting in line. I do crazy things in elevators too, I know, but the key is that people kind of look at me, and then the next time I'm in the elevator with them, they're like, you get those little workouts in, don't you? I said, yes, because I don't have time to spend 60 minutes in the gym anymore. When I was getting paid to spend 60 minutes in the gym, heck, you're making $40 for the hour, I can work out. But when I have to go do it myself for free, kind of like I want to spread it out. And then you can make better choices on what you eat. We, on the average, do not get 3 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. The general public just doesn't. It's kind of interesting in this sense because we all know we're supposed to. And how many of you have children? How many of you make your kids eat vegetables? At least at dinner, sometimes at lunch, kind of throw it in there. Sometimes at breakfast, you'll get the fruit in there. But we're conscious of it for our kids, but we forget about ourselves. I challenge you, when I wrote well, not just the book, but I ran a weight loss clinic for 5 years. We had great success. And the diet was simple, simple, simple. 9 to 11 servings of fruits and vegetables a day and 100 grams of lean protein. I didn't care what else you did. If you did that, then you can have your glass of wine at night, then you can have your cookie, then you can have whatever you want. But you had to get to that 9 mark in serving size. And I don't just mean 9 bites of salad. I mean 2 cups of greens is 1 serving. I mean a handful of broccoli is 1 serving. An orange is a serving. And what they kept coming back to me, they're like, you're making me eat so much food. How come I'm losing weight? I'm like, tell the world the story. It's so easy. If any of you have only 7 days and you've got a wedding, or you've got, you're gonna have a high school reunion, or you've just got like a really kick-ass cocktail party, fruits, vegetables, lean meats, all the RDs and stuff are gonna be like, don't forget the grains, Andrea. I'm gonna be like, fruits, vegetables, lean meats, no alcohol for a week, you will drop 3 to 5 pounds. And if you don't, call me, because every single client that's stuck to that has done really well with it. It's not long term. The minute that we start consuming some of the other things, your weight's gonna kind of battle. It's not long enough to get a homeostasis to really keep the weight off unless you continue on that path, but eventually your body does need those grains and insoluble fiber, but in an easy way. The other thing is, make it easy. Do you guys have Nuval in your stores yet? It's a little octagon symbol. It's in like 72 grocery stores across the country, and it's by Dr. Katz out of Princeton. And they took foods. Here's all the corn cereals. Here's all the different kinds of apples, organic or regular. And it rates them on a scale of 1 to 100 based on nutrient profile, fiber, protein, and it gives them a rating. And the closer it is to 100, the healthier it is. So if you want to really know the difference between this organic apple versus this non-organic apple, and it's only a point or two, do you need to spend more money? Or if it's that I really want to have brown rice today, or I want to have pasta, or I want to have something that I'm not quite sure on the snack side of processed foods, it'll give you that rating. And then if it's got a shorter list of ingredients, it usually means it's a lot healthier. So if you're going across the brands within one category, and I don't know if that's mac and cheese for lack of a better idea, and I don't even eat mac and cheese, but I see that as a processed food pretty common. If you don't have the Nuval rating, you can look at that. And remember, lean proteins, we'll say it right on the package. And if it doesn't have a label, I wrote a whole blog post on, if you want to lose weight, just eat anything that doesn't have a label. If it doesn't have a nutrition label on it, it's good for you. If that's a fruit, that's a vegetable, that's a meat, that's a chicken, that's a fish, there's nothing in that category without a label that the FDA doesn't regulate that isn't good for you. So you can have your no-label diet. And if you have questions on anything, you can just shout them out. Now, my dog really isn't fat. That is my dog. It's my bulldog. And the way you tell if a dog's fat is you look at them from the top, and if their waistline goes in, kind of like on a woman, then they're probably in shape for a dog. Just that she has a really big chest. Don't hold it against her. She's a really nice dog. But at your house, there are so many places to find exercise. It's not that you have to go somewhere special. Just walking your dog, walking your kids, walking your husband. Just put a leash on them, take them outside. Sometimes it'll snap them into shape. Turn up the music in your house. Put on, how many of you listen to Pandora? I love Pandora. Even with the commercials, I don't mind it. Because it remembers what I like and what I don't like, and I fast forward, and then I start getting the right playlists. Love it. Stack the stairs, meaning, and sometimes you're just like, I don't have time to do this, Andrea. But on the Saturdays or the Sundays that you do, I put stuff at the bottom of the stairs and I take it up one at a time, just to get my mindset. And by the And that's then my 10-minute workout. And it's done. And it's high intensity. And it's the same as taking a 30-minute walk.
Thank you so much for joining me this week for this episode of Hot for Your Health. You know, you are a powerful force in your own health, and I'm excited that you took the time this Thursday to learn more from our nation's authorities in health. I hope that you subscribe so that you don't miss one single episode. Join us next week for Hot for Your Health, and for more information, find it at womenshealthconversations.com.